This way down. And welcome back to an awesome special episode of Behind the Anvil. As you can see behind here, I'm joined today with a customer who came down and took a knife class. Um, we just finished up. We did a dual knife class today. This is a little different. Have done. We did our high carbon EDC along with our classic blacksmith knife. We did that in tandem. It turned out really great. I think I'm definitely going to do more of that. I kind of offer that up if you want to hold them up a little bit.
There's
Usually you can see
there's
it.
the blacksmith knife,
So,
and there's the EDC.
yeah, Purple Heart as you went. And sorry about the light. I have really got to just get a ring light and do this thing better. We're out in the shop today, so um, and we're introduce Mark.
Mark Holt.
Mark Holt. Give us a little introduction of yourself.
Yeah, right now I live in Salt Lake, but my wife and I are looking for some land around the country somewhere, and so we may not be there for too much longer. But
I
got
don't
in.
blame you considering we're at Salt Lake, so I don't blame you one bit.
Well, I've lived there a long time. I love it there, but we hope to love someplace else more very soon. And I, until recently, I ran a jet charter company, but I'm a programmer by trade, and I also write fantasy novels, which
Oh,
I
nice.
have not shared with you.
That's kind of cool because I'm actually working at post-apocalyptic kind of scenario book. I've been working on it for about
Oh,
7 years. I need to finish it. I have a friend of mine. She's helped me. She's edited some of it. She's taken Mike's like me. She's learning how to speak me and translating that into an actual book. She's
all
actually a
right.
published author herself. So we did a
Oh,
podcast
cool.
on episode 3 if you want to check that out.
Do you have a working title?
The Walk.
The Walk.
Uh,
Well, so yeah, so that's my story, and I recently got into watching blacksmithing videos on YouTube. It's one of the ways that my 3-year-old will go to sleep.
and hey, that's a lot. I like this idea. I would have thought about that years ago instead of putting them in front of the boob tube and watching useless junk cartoons.
Yeah.
So,
So if I try to watch any show that I like, he will not sit there with me. But blacksmithing shows, for whatever reason, he'll curl right up, but then he doesn't last long and everybody's happy.
hey, whatever taps the kid out, get it? Boom,
Yeah.
count. But
So
we're
that's
throwing
fun.
dad
And
jokes here.
I've really enjoyed watching all different kinds of things being made on YouTube. And then finally, I just looked on the way I found you. I don't think I shared this with you either, but I found you on Google Maps.
Hey, that's cool.
I just pulled it
Google,
up.
woohoo!
I just pulled it up and looked for Utah blacksmith, and there you were. I mean, there were a few in Salt Lake, but I called all around just to compare what people were doing, and I liked the offering that you had here, so I was
And
willing to
I
drive
know
a
a few
couple.
of
Yeah,
those up north. They're Great Bladesmith.
yeah,
So, but we appreciate you
yeah.
picking
I'm
us.
sure I'll go to them eventually, but this is my first experience, putting things in a forge, hammering it, and grabbing the tongs, and so all of it was a blast. I just had a great time. It was about a 2-hour drive for me this morning.
Mm.
Another 2-hour drive home, but it was totally worth it.
But so what we did our high carbon recycled spring steel that was already in bar stock. I drew it down previous. I go through my process of getting that done. We'll definitely get you back here for we'll do it once they get that new forge figured out and everything. We'll get you down here, give you a good discount on I come out and make your own bill of Damascus for
Oh, I'd love that. Yeah,
uh
that sounds
again.
fun.
I still learning the new forge, so if it was the old forge, I'd say, hey, we'd crank it up real
Oh
quick.
yeah, he's referring to right before we started recording. I said, "Hey, can I just forge weld something?" I didn't want to do Damascus, just wanted to take two pieces of metal and forge weld them together. But I
Well, if
guess
we're
the
gonna
forge we've got today is not the one that does that.
the
So,
smaller one we use the blanks. If you guys seen and watched a few lives and everything else, the little Devil's Forge is what it's called, and it it gets it there, but not like the other one does. So let's dive
I look
into it.
forward to it.
Again, we did the high carbon spring EDC blade and also the blacksmith knife deal. I didn't think about any questions throughout the day. I guess I should type something on my phone. So give a general rundown. You found us on, you checked out the website, give me a call, and we talked. We'll give you a pretty good price on this. This is, $300 is a smoking deal. Normally, this would have been
Yeah.
about
Th-
$700.
yeah, I was very pleased with the price, so that's
So,
what made it worth it to me to drive down and do it. And so I came in, you had a piece of metal, about that big, and it gave me two of them, and you said we're going to combine the blacksmith class with the knife class, and so we started making this one, hammered it out, hammered the point in, drew out the tang. I curled around the little curly
And
cue
I'll tell you
there.
what, I've done a few of these. I think you're about the second, maybe first, that actually nailed the main
I'm trying to
curl.
hold it so you can see that
Yeah,
little curl there. That was fun to do.
it
Um,
came out perfect. And then and even for me, getting them just right is a pain in the neck.
yeah.
So
Well,
that was
thank you.
cool.
I mean, I don't know. That something about there's a reason I've been watching these videos. It's something about the idea
Well,
of hitting hot
I'm
metal.
going to tell you right now, like Sam, aka Princess. Sorry, Sam, I'm throwing you under the table again for that. You'll never live that. There's a joke behind. You'll have to watch his episode on that. Sam Waterfield, Grande Princess. Um, he took a knife class, became a friend. Supporter shop comes down to the shop a lot. He's done. This is actually his corner right back
Okay.
behind me. All his tools. Um, he it's it, he so far has probably spent $8,000, and Sal probably has another 10,000 to $5,000 to $10,000 worth of stuff he wants to buy too. It's once you get bit by it, be
Yeah.
careful. A gentleman from a teacher over in Gunnison, he came over and took the blacksmithing knife class. Well, a year later, he calls me up and says, "Hey, I have some knives. I've been tinkering for a year. I says, "Oh, I got hooked." I says, "Oh yeah." I says, "I'd like your opinion." Brought his knives over with his son. Him and his son's been out in the shop playing
Yeah.
around, and they brought the very first knife they did together, and then one's up that. And I, for a year, I was very impressed. He was also a shop teacher too, so I'm
Yeah.
sure that kind of played
Sure.
into it. So it was great to see. So be careful. This is kind of a sickness. Once you get into it and gets in your blood, you want to do
Yeah,
more.
I mean, I had a great time. So, I mean, one of the things that I had to get used to was the tongs.
Yeah, they got a little
They
play
have
in
a
them.
little play in them, and so I couldn't quite do it with one hand. And then the metal stuck to the tongs, and I didn't expect that. And so, just learning to use the tongs, those are the kind of things you can't learn by watching someone else do it. You have to do it.
Get on hands on.
Yeah, and then
Um,
how quickly the heat would bleed out of the blade once it was on the anvil. That was something I didn't know exactly how long that would take, but it was quick to bring it back up. So going back to the fire, back to the anvil.
keeping your steel
Yeah.
a right temperature when to work it. When you get it cold, when you start seeing that drop down, even though it was kind of a reddish cherry or a deep cherry, you want to go back. You're about 1,000 degrees at that point. You really want to work your material about 1,400 to about 1,800, given the material too.
Yeah.
Some stainless steels are work a little hot. You can work a lot hotter. But your high carbon, I like to work it where it's about orangey, maybe a slight
Yeah, yeah. So
yellow.
you taught me how to
Watch
just
your colors.
recognize the color, and that was really nice. And then I guess how to kind of direct your where you wanted
Bevel,
the metal
yep,
to go,
go and buy your hammer and everything else.
forge out the bevel. So we mostly profiled both of these on the on the anvil itself, and then just kind of trimmed off the excess. I didn't realize that that's the way to make the strongest knife. I thought, oh yeah, if you just grind it in, it's the same thing as forging it out. And you taught me that
Well,
if you forge it
now
out, then
there's
the grain of the metal matches your blade a little better.
yes, the grain of the steel will fall as you forge it. Yes, do I still think a forged blade is better than stock removal? Even though I do stock removal now. I used to think it was good,
Yeah,
first word, but again, tell my friends out there that do stock removal, please forgive me. Um, I still think a forged part, forged, there's a lot of stuff they still forge. I mean, there's certain things in aerospace engineering stuff, they forged it
for that reason.
reason.
Yeah.
Again, heat treat and temper is really where the key is, but having that steel fall its way, especially with Damascus, so you can watch that pattern.
Oh
And
yeah.
Damascus, you want to forge because it takes a lot to make that steel, and
Yeah.
you want to use much of that as you can, and that's why I forge my bevels in. It feels weird to do stock removal because I feel dirty, and just
Yeah.
because I had to learn how to grind all over again, so that's kind of rough. So you got to use assist with the 25-pound hammer. What did you think of that and moving the metal compared to moving it by hand?
Um, Obviously it's fun. I feel like I'm standing on the edge of a cliff, because any moment I could fall over, metaphorically, I could ruin my piece that I'm working on. And so I think you struck a really good balance between, holding it, helping me to
Let
hold
you
it and guiding me, and
so you
then
can watch.
yeah,
You didn't have to sit there and try to work on two things or
yeah,
run anything. I
yeah,
run the clutch on the hammer.
Yeah.
And there for one safety reasons too. I know how to feather it literally.
Yeah, and then we
I
used what did we use? What is a hydraulic press?
and we used the hydraulic press at last to go in with the flat dice to flatten everything out
Take out
because
the hammer marks in the
the
steel and
waves of the trip
yeah,
hammer.
and that was cool too. So your shop's fully stocked, which is
Oh,
just
believe me, there's more I want to get.
well,
I want to get a 100 pound trip hammer. There's a 250, and they only made 65 of them, but I want to find me a 500 pound trip hammer, one of the little giants. So I've got three more to go.
500-pound
Yeah,
trip hammer. Okay,
yes.
when that happens, then
We're
let
gonna
me
need
know.
a
I'll
bigger
come.
shop, and I'm probably gonna don't want to be in the
That
neighborhood.
then that'll be the one that you run and I watch. But
Right. But that's my goal is to get a bigger shop.
yeah.
Hopefully with the restaurant too. I have some big goals. A lot of the people that have been following me for years, supporters know that, and we're gonna get there eventually. So I'm not giving up on
Well,
it.
let me ask you a question.
Yes,
What's the most I would say what's the most ambitious thing you're working on right now?
ambitious thing right now. Well, the American Bladesmith YouTube channel, but
As far as a knife, do you have a work in progress, or
um.
are they in and out of the shop really quickly?
Kind of in and out of the shop. I do got some well, I guess you'd
I
have to
noticed
say
the
the
billet in there that you're kind of welding together, and I
oh
don't.
that one. That's just general. I guess the most ambitious right now would be the katana. It's sitting over there. We're working on that. I got the handle. Sam's helping me with that.
Okay.
Um, because I've watched videos on doing it and everything else, and he's been watching videos on it for years too. And we're both kind of, hey, we're gonna just roll with it. So far, by the grace of God, we've been able to pull it off. So, he's fighting the sheath thing. He's making the wooden sheath. We were gonna start all over again. He's gonna get some better material, um, to do that because the first one, it's not sliding in out like we want.
Uh-huh.
He's bad like me. If it's not just right, start over again. So. But back onto that. But I would say that would be most ambitious, other than the other businesses I want to expand. Restaurant.
Oh yeah.
It's a blacksmith, bladesmith this seam. It's going to be two different sides. One side for family, one side for adult dining. So we can throw a bar in there.
Uh-huh.
Also, going to want to do it where we can sit up and do live forging demonstrations. Little things like this, blacksmithing
That
and
sounds amazing.
right, had dinner and a show kind of thing. Um, but anyway, back onto your experience here. We're going to stick with the forging part first, and then we'll get into stage two in the blade shop, where everybody struggles.
Uh-huh.
So you're not the only person that's had to say, "Hey, will you finish this off?" Not a problem. So in the what part of the forging process? Either pick one of the knives. Like you said, you did the blacksmith knife. We'll start with this one. What part of the your EDC, your blacksmith knife and such, did you like that really, even though you've been watching some videos and everything
Yeah.
else,
Stuck out.
stuck out to you?
Yeah, I think holding that hammer in my hand and getting to draw it out, put it back in the forge, pull it out, hold it with the tongs in one hand and hit it with the hammer in the other.
And
And then,
standing in the position, a lot
yeah,
of people like to stand like now. It's like Dad would say, "Get your ass behind you because
yeah, you taught me all that stuff.
get into your work, get square, learn how." And it is an art to sit there and you're using your wrist to rotate the tongs. You really don't. You could actually roll it in your fingers. I've done it so much I don't realize I'm doing it. If that
Uh-huh.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So
And then grinding the profile, I think, in here was pretty fun too. But
okay, yeah. So what part of and there's a certain way you got to hold the hammer. I mean, if you're clear back here, your hammer's not. You can run it, but you notice when you were back there, you're hitting all over. But
yeah,
when you split
obviously,
your
when
head,
I first started,
yep,
I wanted to hold it at the very base, and you're like, okay, choke up.
yep.
Here's right where you hold it. And I was doing more delicate work, so um, I don't know. If I think if you were to say, "Hey, I'm going out of town, watch my shop, feel free to make anything you want," I probably spend most of my time over there just hammering stupid shapes out of there until I got
Figured it.
my
Yep.
arm got too sore, because
So,
I'd just sit there just going like this, I think.
well, I don't think I'd do that, but yeah, I agree. I
Whatever.
agree.
I'd figure out some, even just if it was just a metal box, I'd figure out something I could make
There you go.
and just keep making them until I got too tired to continue because it's pretty fun to just throw things in the fire.
Yes, it is. These are actually some of my therapy knives. When I get so tired of doing these, I'll
Uh-huh.
actually go make a bunch of these, the blacksmith knife, and because I've been literally doing this 30 years. I started
Yeah.
when I was 10. I grew up in it. Like I said, this
That
is
would
my
make you 40.
40. Yep, I'm old. Getting there, over the hill, halfway through it.
I'm
Time for a
older.
midlife crisis. I gotta go buy a Harley and a fast car. Buy some knives so I can go buy me a Harley and some fast car.
There you go.
Sign up for knife classes. So, so we talked about the forging. Again, what part did you say you liked the most about the forging?
Just learning how to wield the hammer, wield the tongs and wield the
We're
hammer.
gonna get in there.
Recognize the color.
Okay, so what's the next step? We come to the blade shop where we're gonna grind, profile our blade, straighten it. What part of that part did you like the most? I mean, I know everybody goes through this. Everybody gets nervous on the grinder because,
Yeah.
yes, do we have our bevels forged in somewhat? Yes, it's probably about, I would say your bevel's about at least 90, 85, 90% forged.
Yeah.
Then you just got to take the other 15 down.
Yeah. I think the part that I thought was the coolest, that part I'm gonna have to practice, right?
Hmm.
And I look forward to doing that. I think the part that I thought was the coolest was making this handle. You had a selection of wood here. This was my favorite color of the ones you had, and so
Purple Heart is what he's
Purple
referring to.
Heart. And so
Again, sorry for the lighting, folks. I apologize.
anyway, yeah, I wish you could see this a little better, but it right now it's just got the perfect texture to it, very, very smooth. Um, and taking that down, going down over the successive textures, coarsenesses of the
Yeah.
sandpaper until we got it nice and smooth, and making it something that fits well in your hand. That's very satisfying too. So I like that a lot.
Um, Now let's get into the beveling part. Now, everybody struggles with the beveling. I struggle. Even you've seen me a couple times. I went, oops, had to fix my own oops. So, the beveling part. Tell us what your thoughts when you were going through it, what you were thinking. Um,
So one of the mistakes that I made was I held the knife in there and you're like, oh, you're rocking it because I felt like I had to, I don't know, when you're trying to grind a curve into wood, which I've done before,
mhm.
you know, you go like this. And when you're trying to file a curve into steel, you kind of use the file and you can
Yes,
kind of go like this, right?
but
So
we
for
were,
whatever reason in my mind, that's what I was trying to
and
do.
and that's natural because our mind is okay. We're gonna bevel this. We gotta roll it.
Yeah.
You don't.
So you taught me, put your thumb right here, press it flat, and the motions to use.
We also have a little thing there too.
Yeah,
There,
a little guide.
you again, we have our bevels in mainly unless it's really rough. You want to put your bevel on there, the same angle as you forged your bevel in.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting tongue tied here. Um, so you match that up, and then you want to grind from the edge backwards. That way, you remove the edge material, so we can get it down to a nice sharp point edge, not the point.
Uh-huh.
Get what's the point, Michael? Here.
So you start grinding material away from
From
the
the
edge
edge
and
and bring that
and
right.
then you bring it to the spine
Yeah, you
rather than
go.
starting in reverse.
Yep. So you kind of, as you're grinding, you're on that belt, and so you're pushing. So that cut goes backwards. That way, we leave all the materials we can on the spine.
Okay, okay.
That way, we want to leave our spine thick, our edge thick, because that's where the working face is.
Yeah.
So, that's the way I grind. I mean, there's people that do it the opposite direction, how they do it upside down. I have no idea, but I know people that can do it.
Okay.
Don't ask me how
So,
because
all right. So what you're saying is
what they
that's
would
your
do.
recommendation.
What I would do is like we was talking, get you some steel, get you a grinder, a 1x30. Reach out to, we're going to shout out to our Sean Ryan at Phoenix Abrasive. Remember, folks, when you call Phoenix Abrasive, ask for Sean Ryan and tell him that Jasmine's calling. If they ask who's calling, he'll giggle, but talk to him. Maybe if you're lucky, we'll get him on here
You'll
at
be
the
part of an inside joke
joke.
that you don't get,
Yeah,
neither do I.
and
But
I know the story.
apparently it's
I know the story, but it's not my story to tell. But maybe we can talk him out of getting it on the podcast here. So Colton named Jasmine, but anyway, he can tell you what belts to
you'll get
start with.
all of your grinders will be pink, but that's fine. That's cheaper that way.
Yeah, man, something like that. But like I said, you're beveling and such like that. It takes time. So get you some and stock remove for a little bit if you need to
Yeah.
practice. And then go into forging for back and forth. You get some mild steel and practice like you were saying. You want to get some mild steel, make you a knife out of that.
Yeah, and then
That
if it gets ruined, who cares?
exactly. Now watch. He'll get through that and it'll come out perfectly.
And then when I try with
Well, you know what you could do is you get it all shaped and everything up before your handle's on. You could super quench.
Oh, okay.
Which super quenching, what we can do is you mix up. You can use lye. I don't recommend lye water, but you can use salt water, a brine, a heavy brine solution, or you can put a little bleach in there. And for some reason, that hardens mild steel. And you don't need to temper it either.
Oh,
It's not going to hold an edge very well, um, but or for very long, but you will be able to super quench it. So if you want to try it that way, give it a try. But
yeah,
do it all, get everything, get it all to where you want. Even get it to ground down through your 120, 400, get your,
yeah,
clean it up to where you want it, and then super quench it, and then put your handle material on.
yeah. And then I'll probably get some cheap handle material and just practice making
Home
handles.
Depot, go down and get those
Yeah,
samples. There you go.
yeah. So then once I'm good at, knowing which angle to put it in on the grinder, and then you put the final secondary bevel, as you call it, in
The
there.
edge, the sharpening edge. Yep.
And
There's also I bought one.
and so that was two different angles, and you just seem to have it in your muscle memory to just push it against there.
30
So,
years. I mean,
so I got to get that, right? I got to
yep.
learn that. And
There's some jigs too. There, I'll show you that before you leave. I bought one for my daughter to see if she'd try it. She tried it this last weekend. She says, "Dad, I don't think I like this. It's a bevel that you can set your
oh, I see. Yeah.
angles and such. You can get those too. They're like 25 bucks on Amazon. Um, there's some other ones that got
But
some.
then your muscle memory is how to use the jig rather than how to grind the knife, but if that's what you want.
I mean, it's all in how you want to do it, and
Yeah.
there's really no not doing it is the wrong way.
Yeah, otherwise if you're getting it done, then
Again,
who
I
cares?
I teach how I was taught.
Yeah.
Now, we're shout out the cowboy. He gave me an idea. We did an interview with him.
You mentioned your dad taught you.
Yes.
Who taught him?
He learned from Busker Ornsky, GMNs.
Oh, okay.
They're since
Sorry, I
passed.
interrupted you. Go
No,
ahead.
no, no. We call those squirrel moments.
Yeah.
Trust me, we'll get off on some side story here in a minute, I'm sure. But shit, where did I go? Pardon the language here. We're trying to keep it clean here. What the hell was I talking about? Oh, bevels and jigs and
Yeah.
everything. So, I mean, you could do it that way. Give it a try. Freehand it. If it doesn't feel like it freehanded working right, give a bevel get jig
Yeah,
and give
okay.
it a try that
I
way.
will.
Um, but cowboy he when people just the novice want to come say, hey, the bragging rights, everything, he'll use the bevel guide to help them.
Uh-huh.
They build some really good ones. So I didn't know that until after I bought that. So I'm probably going to order one of his because it's from the sounds of it a lot better than what I bought.
Oh, okay.
Phoenix Knives out of Belleville, Texas, where we go to the Texas Select Show. The really great folks, blacksmith, bladesmith guy, awesome couple. They've got a big showroom. We've got some of our knives there. So shout out to Phoenix Abrasive, not Phoenix Abrasive, Phoenix Knives. Take
Nice.
the O out of Phoenix. So, but yeah, so we did the handle, everything. Let's get back to you on your knife making
Yeah.
experience here.
Yeah.
Are you
What else?
finishing it? We did the shape and glue and everything. Got went for a lunch for a little bit. We blew back the blade, while we're waiting for glue to dry on the
Yeah,
knife.
so blue backing, which you want me to explain
Yeah,
that
yeah,
briefly?
you go if you
I
want.
didn't realize that, we tempered both blades, but then you want this to be just a little softer. So you heated this with your blowtorch, then placed the blade in the water and continued to heat, drew the heat out about to a certain point about right there on the spine.
Watching the
And you
colors.
can even see it on the color here if I can get it. You can see the
Yeah,
different
temper.
color, and that's where it's a little bit softer back here, and this is the hard part that got hardened, and so it'll keep the edge, and that was fun to do.
And then when you're doing that, you don't want to bring it up to. You just want to watch to keep that torch point where it starts turning. You want to get it about 600 degrees where it turns that full blue, and that takes it from about. We're gonna say 60 for just a roundabout numbers. I need to get me one of those Rockweller tools that tells you how hard it is.
Oh yeah,
Um, So taking that, we'll take it from 60, and let's say we get it down to about 40. And it's still hard, but softer than the edge because we don't
no,
need,
yeah,
my opinion, you don't need that edge that hard.
yeah,
It gives a little rigidity and flexibility, and then also if it's warped a little bit, you can work that warp out a lot unless it's 90
right,
degrees.
right,
So
right. So yeah, it allows you to have, I guess, less brittleness. Really, is what you're going for.
yes, it'll help the again, it's blue backing, or the other term is differential tempering. And then some of them I've actually done. A lot of my blacksmith knives, I'll do that. I'll throw them back in the oven at 400 degrees. I've been experimenting. The only way I'm going to know is if I break it, the knife in
Yeah.
half, and check and see if there's any um, grain refinement in the steel between that junction, because you are changing the grain structure when you're tempering. You're driving that hardness down, so the grain structure should tighten up a little bit more, but you're doing it a little faster than over a period of time. So I think throwing it in there in that junction between the two temper lines kind of mediates that out a little bit in my thinking. Again, if anybody's got any ideas on that or got a better explanation, please let us know in the comments. Share this out. Uh,
Metallurgists,
yes,
call in.
yes, right. Send me an email. Hey, and I welcome hate mail. I probably won't read it, but you know what? Hey, at least you guys following me, right?
Yeah,
Uh, well, let's wrap this up real quick.
sure.
Overall, what do you think about the experience? I know my teaching, it's hands-on and everything, and I try to take everything that's in my head and I know, translate that out into, hey, tell you, instruct you the best I can verbally, and also show you. I prefer teaching, show you,
Yeah.
discuss it, and let you try.
I had a great time. I think what I'm hungry for next is just some playtime with a forge and some metal. So that's what I said to you. I'd love to just hit a couple things together. So I think what I'll do next is just try to see if there's a maybe a forge up in Salt Lake where I can just go in and just pound on
There might
something
be, but like I said,
and have, but plenty of, because once we got started on this, I didn't want to screw it up, and so I
he
want to,
got a little hesitant on the 120 cleanup, and then we
yeah.
went to the red
So
belt.
I want to hammer on something where I don't care if I screwed up, and then that'll be fun just to see
And
what comes
you
out of
forged
that.
it out great. You really did. I mean, under the little instruction here and change it here, that part wasn't. You did great.
I had the best blacksmithing teacher I've ever had today.
No,
You may be the only blacksmithing
bladesmith. I
teacher.
should say bladesmith. I'm more of a bladesmith than blacksmith.
Well,
Well, I
this
mean
knife would say that
that's
they're both true. So yeah,
blacksmithing, the forging the blade out. Yes, on that part, on that that's
you were the best bladesmithing teacher I've ever
there we
had as
go. I,
well.
I do
Both.
a little bit of
You get the double
blacksmithing.
whammy.
So one of the guys that I think is one of the best blacksmiths I've seen and watched him, and I want to go out and he's over in Columbus, Ohio. Shout out to Adelaide. I'm trying to get him on here, but he's been super busy doing
Sure.
with some clients and such, and he's got to go to a conference too. I would love to be able to afford to go out there for 2 weeks and work with him on just learning the simple stuff to do with blacksmithing. He knows that. Shout out to Beck. I'm gonna get her on here too. Um, that battler in Ohio. I've been there. His shop a couple times. Great people. But yeah. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you recommend? Say this class, and how much would you recommend this to somebody?
I would not give you maybe quite a 10
That's
just
fine.
because
Don't want my head
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that's it. I don't want your head to explode. But yeah, I would go to a 9 and say I had a 9 out of
Hey,
10.
at least I have something to strive for. I mean,
There you go. I don't want to take away all of your dreams right on the first
right?
day. But no, I had a wonderful time, well worth the drive, well worth the money, and also it ignited in me a passion to do
His
more.
wife's not going to be happy because she's going to look at the credit. What is this?
Oh,
What is
so
this?
one thing I didn't say is my wife and I were looking for some land. She wants to shy away from the term homesteading because then people look at us like, oh, you're one of those,
Oh,
but
there's
she
a,
does want a homestead. And so when I told her I was going to learn to blacksmith, she said, wow, you're on board with what I want to do, And so I was
hey,
like, yeah, as
well,
long
you
as
know what?
it's,
When you
if I
guys
can
get to
put
the
things in fire, then yeah,
Yeah,
why
there you
not?
go.
So
Maybe we'll
she's
get you guys
happy.
both on a podcast one of these
Yeah.
times
Yeah.
talking
She
about
can
it.
do your music. She's a musician.
Oh, that's cool. I have no music ability whatsoever. My kids, yes. Me, not so much. Unless it's an anvil ringing with a hammer
But yeah,
steel.
so well worth the time, well worth the money, well worth the drive, and I get to go home with a couple of fun knives that I'll keep forever.
Just don't bleed yourself until you get off the property,
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
far, no cuts today.
Should we test the sharpness on this waiver that I signed?
Sure. Now go ahead.
You keep the waiver. That way, in case I hurt myself 3 years from now with this, you
No,
can.
there you go. Here.
Here we go. We'll test
Oh,
it.
well, actually, once you leave the property, it doesn't matter. So we'll use a dud one that we haven't used.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
I've never done this before, so I don't know how to
You're doing
make
just
sure I don't.
bleed yourself.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's Well, when you, I
Okay,
mean,
well, you can do that offline.
you
So
did a very effortless, shaving of the hair on your arm to test the edge knife.
yeah,
I was like, wow, that's very sharp.
well, hey, now you go home and tell the wife, hey, we're gonna shave your legs with them. So see what happens.
Okay, yeah,
I've actually did.
You have my promise not to let you know how it turns out.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't need to. I was kind of seeing a gal a few years ago. I made a knife for her, and she's like, you gonna shave my legs with it? It's like, yeah, sure. It's all right. So, I'm like, you serious? So I'm in the tub shaving her leg with her own knife that I made her. So that's
Well,
for a story for a different
those
time,
are
but
behind
definitely
closed doors
not
stories
me.
that you'll
So,
keep quiet.
um, hey, thanks again. Hope you joined. Thanks again. Hope you check out this out. This will
Yeah.
probably drop towards probably about the 1st of December
Okay,
when this will
great.
drop. Um, Actually, I might kick this
Thanks,
out a
Mike.
little earlier. No, thank you. Available on all podcast platforms, YouTube. This will drop on YouTube. I might just go ahead and drop this on early just to help
Yeah, why
build up
not?
fun. Why
Yeah,
not?
come take Mike's class if you have time, like I did. Combine the
So,
blacksmithing,
4 out of 5
bladesmithing class.
stars.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We
Oh
get
no,
five,
4.5.
4.5. Oh man, I got to strive for a little bit more. Guess I'm not as sharp as I thought, but I'm. All right, man. We'll
Thanks,
cut
brother.
this out.
Catch you next
Thanks
time.
again. Please let us know what you comment, what you think, what you want to see. If you got any questions about knife making class, go to mikesdamascusknife.com or I'm on Facebook, Mike Damascus LLC. Here on YouTube, send us a message. Let us know. Hey, have a great one. God bless. And remember, as we say in the shop, stay sharp, America.